Hi again guys, I'm back with another unboxing from my latest order from ccube.hk, and this is the second one out of the box. This is a Dayan Gem. This is version 7. So now I've got the 1, 2, 3, 5 and 7. I'm waiting on the 4 to arrive as I film this. Hopefully one day they will actually get around to releasing the version 6, which they haven't done yet, which seems very strange to me. Why wouldn't you just call this one version 6 if you're releasing it a year before the other ones? And then when the other one's finished and ready, call that version 7, but oh well. So once again, this one's come stickered, which is nice, as long as the stickers are nicely placed. This looks a little odd. It's almost like a kind of optical illusion. Because all the hexagons are squashed, it looks a little strange. So I think, if I remember right, the squares do actually turn on this, but they're a bit stiff, but they're not that bad. I've seen video reviews of it saying they're absolutely almost impossible to turn, and you had no idea that they could even turn on this puddle, but it's really not that bad. So I'm quite surprised by that actually. I was expecting that to be much more difficult than that to turn, but it's nothing of the sort really. I mean, it's a little bit catchy and it's not great, that's for sure, but with a bit of breaking in it should improve, possibly a bit of lube, but I can feel straight away that it's breaking in better, so that's fine. And what else have we got? The hexagonal faces turn? They do. But there's also jumbling on this one, I'm fairly sure, if I remember correctly. Is it as simple as that? It is. Okay, that was easy to find. So as you can see, you can move that stripe from the grey face, and presumably, yeah, you can then move that one from the green face. So that's going to add an extra dimension to this one. Once again, I'm not entirely certain how difficult this one is to solve, but it's, I suspect, on the difficult side. Again, I haven't read much about it, just simply trying to avoid spoilers. Oh, see, this is what bugs me. Look at the state of that green sticker there. That is atrocious. Again, if you're going to sticker it, do a good job of it. Either do a good job of it or send it not stickered so I can do a good job of it myself. That's just terrible. That really is. I mean, half of the sticker is hanging off the side of the piece. That's just, it really winds me up, that does. You know, we spend quite a lot of money on these puddles. The least we can expect is a little bit of quality control on simple things like that. I mean, I know they're trying to bang out as many puddles as they can quickly because that increases their profit margins, but I want a better attention to detail than that. I mean, I'm not 100% certain, but I believe what happens is they sell these puddles to the stores in either unassembled or assembled and not stickered, and then they can do it themselves, sort of thing, or send it not stickered to you, and that's why some come stickered and some don't, I think. And again, that one's really not well placed. That's almost hanging off the edge as well, so I'm going to have to adjust a few of these stickers. Normally I can deal with it as long as they're not really, really bad, but some of these are just too bad. I mean, like I say, this one especially that's hanging off the side, that one will definitely get moved. And there's always these triangles. That one, again, you've got a tiny little black bit on that side, and this great big black stripe on the right hand side of it. And that piece is just, yeah, it annoys me. But anyway, let's get this thing scrambled up. So the square faces can do 90-degree turns, obviously. This one's going to need a bit of breaking in, so we'll do a bit of that while we're in the process of scrambling it. And what I will do with this is what I always do with jumbling puzzles. I scramble it without jumbling to begin with. So, oh, actually, that's only going to give me 180-degree turns on those hexagonal faces if I don't do the jumbling. Whereas with jumbling, let's see, can you do it in every direction? Let's see. So that's the standard state. Then you've got the 60-degree turn there, which jumbles. So now to 120 degrees, and does that turn? I don't think it does. Or is it just? Oh, it does. Yeah. Ooh, I'm not convinced by that one actually. I mean, it's moving, but I'm not sure whether it's actually a legal move or not. You see, it's sort of trying, but no, I don't think it is, because you can see it's sort of popping the piece off the top there. So I don't think that's a legal move. So once again, you've got the 60-degree move, which certainly works, no problem whatsoever. That's going to be a bit awkward to try and remember. And, 120. No, I'm fairly sure that's not right. So yeah, 60 or 180, which is a quite odd combination to have, but I think it's easy to remember because you can either have both of the square pieces adjacent to a hexagon, which, sorry, in the place where they belong, which works, and then none of the square pieces attached. No, that's wrong. I'm talking rubbish. Maybe it does do it in every direction. Maybe I'm just missing it. It definitely does that one. That's level with the face, so that's. Now, because I hit the wrong angle, so you don't do it with the square faces there at all. That's for sure. The square pieces, so you can do it that one. And then that's just a regular turn with the next one. Okay, so you can only do it with the kind of pieces from hexagonal faces there. So yeah, again, that one works fine. That one worked fine. That one won't. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, anyway, time to get this thing scrambled. So I'm going to come off the frame a bit, busy watching the puzzle and not my viewfinder. Yeah, the square faces are definitely a bit difficult to turn. There's no two ways about that. But yeah, the idea that there's no way he knew that they could possibly turn baffled me a little, unless his was even harder, more difficult to turn than mine is. So yeah, I always like to do a unjumbling scramble first on these puzzles, just to kind of get an idea of how to move pieces around, and then I do another solve with it jumbled and see how much more difficult it is. I know a lot more about sorting jumbling out than I used to. It's actually the Dayan Gem VII, the first puzzle in this series, that whilst I solved the helicopter cube and the no, actually I didn't have a helicopter cube then, but I solved the curvicopter a number of times with jumbling. There was still a lot of kind of trial and error involved. I wasn't really fully understanding what I was doing while trying to solve it. So then when I got the Dayan Gem VI and solved that with jumbling, that really kind of taught me a lot about how to deal with it. But it's still not always easy, that's for sure. It kind of, because it's moving pieces in sort of unexpected orbits, it makes it a bit tricky to sort out where the pieces are going to move to with a combination of jumbling moves. So it certainly adds to the challenge and the fun of these puzzles when they when they do jumbling, when they are capable of jumbling. That's probably a better way of saying that, isn't it? This has taken quite a while to scramble this one. I love the way the whole series is the same basic shape of these Dayan gems. They all have hexagonal faces and square faces. The hexagons are not always regular. They vary from puzzle to puzzle, but they've got the same basic geometry of the puzzle, which is, I'm sure some of them are done that way in a kind of shape mod way sort of thing. It's not the natural shape of that the cuts come out at, and they're just doing it to make the entire series the same shape deliberately, obviously. But, yeah, it's still quite cool, very interesting that they can do that on so many different puzzles, so many puzzles that have got such different turning geometries. I just want to kind of give these square faces an extra turn when they're stiff, just to kind of try and break them in a little bit while I'm scrambling. Okay then, I think I'm gonna, I don't know, maybe not quite. I was about to say that scramble, but I just found a couple more pieces that need moving. Yeah, we'll call that one scrambled. I'll go away, see how well I can get anywhere near solving it, and I'll get back to you when I've done so. Okay, so the Gem 7 is solved again. much like the Gem 4, if you've seen my review of that one, I reached a stage where I couldn't make any progress, so I had to look up a little hint online. And once I'd kind of seen that hint, I must admit I had a real kind of, oh my god, I can't believe I didn't realise that moment. And from then on, it was plain sailing. I got a very large amount of the puzzle solved from up until like the last couple of layers, but then I just couldn't really make any progress from there on. I couldn't get the final corners of the top layer hexagons and the final square done at all. I just completely baffled for a while. So I looked up a little hint online, and as soon as I'd seen that, as I said, I was away and got it solved again. So yeah, it's a fun one, this. I've also done a jumbling solve, just to show you the jumbling moves again. If you rotate kind of the hexagonal faces onto another hexagonal face, then you can do the jumbling move. And it's actually not too difficult to sort out from a jumbled state. It's there's only really one piece type that you've got to worry about. The rest work exactly the same as they do in a non-jumbled, a non-jumbled scramble. So there's only really one piece type you have to worry about. So it's a fun solve. It's a fun extra dimension to the puzzle, but it doesn't add a huge amount of extra difficulty. And the one piece that does need to be sorted out with the jumbling scramble isn't too difficult to do so, but it's just a nice fun addition, a nice fun extra dimension to the solve. So it's definitely worth doing if you get one of these. Turning quality wise, the turning quality is really good on this actually. The puzzle from the whole series, this is probably the lightest of all the puzzles. It feels very lightweight and almost gives you the impression that it's flimsy, but it's really not. It turns fine. I've had no problems with catching or popping or locking up or anything like that whilst solving this puzzle. So, but it definitely feels light. Like I don't know if it's thin plastic or it just happens to be that the mechanism in the core doesn't require so much plastic to function, so it's doesn't need quite so much material. But whatever it is, it makes no difference to the turning quality, as I've said. These squares do require a little bit of force, but the hexagons turn very, very easily. Sorry about that. But yeah, the squares, you do have to have things lined up quite carefully, but once you do, they turn fine. Just a little bit stiffer than the hexagons are, but yeah, it's a fun solve, this one. I enjoyed this one a lot. Just like the rest of the Gems series, they're an excellent series of puzzles, and this one's no exception. I just hope they release the Gem VI sometime soon, because at the time I'm recording this, that's still not on sale. But yeah, don't be afraid of the jumbling on this one. It's definitely not too difficult, and it's if you haven't really experienced much jumbling before, it's a fun one to learn how to deal with it. But yeah, other than that, I don't really think there's much else to say. It's a fun solve, it's decent quality, and it turns quite well. Can't really ask for much more in a puzzle, and it's definitely a challenging one. It's not the most difficult puzzle you'll ever see, but it's certainly not an easy one. It's not a trivial solve by any stretch of the imagination. Alright then guys, I think that's it for this video. I can't think of anything else I want to say about it, so thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care now.